Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Fratello Talks. I'm your host Nacho, and today I'm joined by
Lex
and
RJ.
Oh, very nice. A little switcheroo there. And this week we are going to be talking about whether you should wear your watches while playing sports or exercising. But before we do that, let's get into wrist check. RJ, what's on your wrist today?
Today I'm wearing my bracket Tradition reference 7027 in yellow gold.
Perfect. And that is your track and field, your pole vaulting watch, right?
Exactly.
Excellent. Yeah, I think you probably don't get as high as Mondo with that on your wrist. It's a little heavier.
You don't know that, yeah?
No? Okay, perfect.
We'll try at the end of the podcast.
We will.
Yes.
Stay tuned to the end, and we'll have RJ's
definitely.
trying to beat Mondo Duplantis' world record. And Lex, have you got something golden there to show us, or?
What do you think?
Oh.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
No, let's leave that for another time.
Yeah? Should we save that for a rainy
Save
day?
it for that.
Anyway, no.
What is actually on your wrist?
It is my Oris Diver 65 Momotaro edition that came back from a little service from a watch spa somewhere in Switzerland. Very exotic
excellent.
place.
Holstein.
Exactly. Holstein.
Also.
And it caught a little cold, I would say.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
So
Needed a bit of
its sinuses were a little bit
was a bit foggy.
It was a little bit
congested.
foggy in there.
Foggy,
So
okay.
foggy.
case of the foggy Oris.
No, but it looks perfect now. It's all clean.
And that
up
is a
everything.
bronze bezel edge, right?
Yeah, it's the bronze bezel.
Oh, it's nice. It's nice.
Yeah.
Are the jeans a Momotaro? Because the strap's Momotaro. but
Yeah,
the
no,
jeans-
I'm not wearing the matching jeans.
But you
These
have
are.
Momotaro jeans.
I have Momotaro jeans, yeah. But these are a pair of Japanese denim, but it's a G-Star.
Okay. Hey, you had me fooled, so that's
exactly.
all good.
That's how I roll.
Excellent.
Fooling
Yeah.
everybody. What's on your wrist?
Yeah, on my wrist is a watch I picked up just a week ago or so, and it's a Skirfa, which is a watch brand that is
You should
owned and
see a
operated.
doctor.
It's not scurvy. It's not scurvy. That's something different. It's Skirfa, which is a watch brand owned and operated by a professional diver, a saturation diver called Paul Skirfield, which is where the name comes from. And it's quite an affordable quartz-powered. This is the Diver 1 in titanium with an orange dial, and I wanted something with a bit of a brighter dial to it. I have a lot of black and blue dials in my collection, and this was one day to try it out.
How deep can that sucker go?
500 meters.
Because I was looking at the crystal. That's
It's quite a crystal, and it
That's
has
a
a,
sick
it has
crystal,
a,
man.
and it has a helium escape valve to
yeah.
prevent it from shooting across the
cool.
dive environment. Right.
it's a real instrument.
It is, yeah,
Yeah,
and
that's
I
nice.
quite appreciate it. I like that it's quartz. It means it's sort of nice and reliable. It's a ETA quartz movement in there, and it was mostly about the dial color, just to try out something different. But I
bit
also
Dutch.
like that it's titanium. It's a little bit Dutch. Yeah, it's the King's Day watch.
Yeah.
That's what it'll be. Perfect.
Wow.
Cool. So let's get into the topic. But let's start with our own personal experience, I think, because I think many people do wear watches while playing sports and exercising.
Yeah.
But what about us? What's our go-to? RJ, do you wear watches while golfing or working out?
Well, when I play darts, I wear my Breitling.
Okay.
Keep myself in balance.
At the dive bar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Now, when I play golf, I do wear a watch, and I have asked several brands in the past, Rolex, AP, and Omega, to be precise, if it would be possible to play golf with your watch.
Right.
And two of them answered, one didn't. And
Place your guesses as to which one.
exactly, Rolex told me that you can definitely play.
Well,
I just lost my money.
Okay, really?
Wow.
No, Rolex wrote me that you can play golf with your watch, no problem, and that many golf players don't, because you could damage the watch by grabbing a club from your bag, yada yada yada. But if you have a caddy, you don't have that issue. But there's one golf player, and I think it's a Rolex ambassador. It's Phil Mickelson, who's always wearing his Rolex Cellini watch while playing golf.
As a lucky charm, it doesn't run anymore.
I don't. Yeah,
I
perhaps.
don't know. I
I
have
don't know.
no clue.
Omega told me that it's also no problem to play golf with your watch, mechanical watch, I have to add, because Everything Master chronometer has been tried and tested to like 5,000 Gs, and swinging your golf club with a watch on is around between 50 Gs and a few hundred Gs,
Yeah.
so that should be
right.
fine. Personally, I'm a little bit more careful with wearing automatic watches, but just for me, that's like I think a mental thing that you can, that the rotor will snap off or whatever.
Yeah.
Probably will not happen. But no, so when I wear a watch, I mainly wear a Speedmaster.
What, yeah,
It's a mechanical, like a hand-wound one,
Yeah.
so that should be fine.
Yeah.
So you don't see that many golf players wearing a watch like the profis.
I can think of one.
Rory McIlroy played with his ultralight at some point, but often you don't see him wearing any watch except like this smartwatch or this band
like
digital thing.
The Zoop, right? Or
I don't know what he
Yeah.
wears, to be honest.
Whoop.
Whoop.
That's it. Whoop.
Whoop.
Not a Zoop.
Whoop.
Also cyclist.
Zoop is a
thing.
dive computer, actually.
Oh.
Sunto Zoop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you have there are players that wear their watches, and if I'm on a golf course, I do see a lot of people just wearing their watch, but probably they don't give it any thought.
Yeah.
So I see people wearing mechanical watches, and they just keep it on because they always wear it. And then last weekend I was in Grand Montana in Switzerland. I played 9 holes, and 2 holes there was an Omega ambassador there, a golf player, a lady, number 3 in Switzerland, so quite high up. And she was wearing her Seamaster, and I thought, yeah, that's just a thing because it's an Omega sponsored event.
Right.
But she told me later on that she always wears a watch while playing golf, and she just got used to it, and it doesn't affect her game whatsoever. And also, until now, it doesn't affect the watch.
But so then you personally wear your Speedmaster playing golf, no problem. And do you wear any watch for any other sports you do?
Wait. I'm gonna stick with the golf. Do you have a favorite golf watch or a favorite golfer matched to a watch? You know who I'm trying to steer you in the direction of one of the most iconic, loudest, unique, extravagant golfers.
John Daly. But I don't
What
know
watch does he wear?
Yeah,
Does he wear a
I
watch?
guess he wears a day date.
Rolex, yeah.
But I don't know if he wears a watch while playing golf, actually.
I think
But
he did.
I should check it out on YouTube. Yeah.
And what about the Bubba Watson watch?
That I don't know. That I don't know.
The white. It's a white. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was a white
Could be.
Richard Mille. Bubba
Could
Watson.
be.
Oh wow, that's
Yeah,
bold
he
choice.
wore a white Richard
But this,
Mille.
what I find interesting is that a lot of golfers are like ambassador for watch brand. AP has or had a few. Omega has a bunch, and Rolex has a bunch, but they don't wear watches playing golf. So that's a bit of the weird thing.
But they're dedicated golf watches. Wasn't there a Cartier that was a dedicated golf?
There was a Tag
Yeah,
Heuer.
we've talked about it.
Yeah,
It's
wasn't
come
there
up
a
as
Pasha.
Yeah.
Pasha.
Could
Was
be.
it-
Yeah.
Yeah, Tag Heuer probably
There was a
did
Tag
some-
Heuer.
yeah,
There was a
Tag
golf
Heuer,
watch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, true.
and
Where
I
the clasp was different, right, or something like
Yeah,
that.
it was a
There
rectangular watch or a square
Yeah.
watch, actually.
Yeah.
Very lightweight. And I think Tiger Woods at the time was an ambassador for
Yes,
Tag Heuer.
of
Right.
course.
Then something happened. And then he became, he's a, I think, Rolex ambassador.
He is.
Yeah.
And, well, McIlroy used to be AP, and then he switched to Omega. And Matt Wallace switched from AP to Omega as well.
Right. Yeah.
But McIlroy, he was involved by the development of that ultralight Aquaterra that we saw during the Olympic Games.
Right. But then going back to our own experience, which is what we're
Yeah.
starting with.
Yeah, so I wear my watch,
Yes.
and I wear
Yes.
the hand one because I feel it's a bit more safe, perhaps. But it's just my gut feel.
Yeah.
And yeah, nothing happens. I'm not that good. So actually, if something happens to a watch while playing golf, it should be the ones with a higher handicap, I guess.
I suppose, yeah.
Hitting the ground
Those,
or whatsoever.
Bump into a tree, fall into the water.
Yeah, exactly.
Don't do that.
And I work out
Golf
these
cart
days
accident.
in the gym. Only
You wear a watch in the gym?
only weight training. Sometimes I do,
Okay.
just to keep track of time, because I think the phone is a bit.
But what do you wear?
It's the gold day date, right?
No, it should be. No, I sometimes I just take a swatch with me. To be honest,
okay.
Yeah.
sometimes
Makes sense.
Yeah, Speedmaster or Seamaster or Sea Dweller, something like that.
Hmm.
Yeah, nothing gold.
Okay.
No.
And what about you, Lex? What do you're obviously a cyclist. You're the cyclist here in the Fratello team. Do you wear? Do you find yourself wearing a watch or finding it useful to wear a watch while cycling?
More
Are there
often.
any concern?
More often, actually, but that's
Yeah?
because of my eyesight getting
Right.
worse.
Right.
And the thing is, you want to know your speed and your cadence and what have you, so you can see that on the
the head unit, the
on the computer. But sometimes I also just want to know the time.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And I can't see it. I can't read it because there's also
But do you
already
need to
so
change
much
grip?
on-
Because I don't know what kind of steer you have.
Yeah,
on the-
no.
Yeah.
But then you should. Then if I switch the screens, but I don't
Yeah.
want to be switching the screens.
Right.
I don't. You want to intuitively and immediately see the time, and I just can't. I can't
And
see
nothing
it.
beats just.
So then
putting the
I
wrist.
started wearing a watch now.
But you've been cycling with a professional team with Tudor.
Yeah.
I think quite recently.
Yeah.
Do
Then
those guys wear
I
watches?
was wearing the. I asked if I could wear the new
The FXD,
cycling,
yeah.
the FXD, the carbon fiber cycling chrono, because I just wanted to see how that would.
Yeah, and you could.
And it was. I think it. The good thing is it needs to be stable on the wrist.
Yeah.
So you should never notice it, that when you hit a bump, when a watch is too loose, that it just becomes annoying. And
if it's a
and
top-heavy
start-
watch,
exactly.
it would probably every little bump, every little bit of road feedback that goes up through the bars is gonna
that's
cause
annoying.
it to be a bit
So it worked perfectly. You can just perfectly put it on with the strap and everything. It's lightweight, and the good thing is, it's very easy to read.
Yeah,
and
true. Yeah, those snowflake hands.
love them or hate them, but if you want to see, they're incredibly legible. And the good thing was also that on that trip from Bern to Zermatt, it rained quite a bit. It rained so hard that it drowned my computer.
Oh, okay.
And I was. Yeah, the
FXD is
the FXD was
what's it rated to? That is it 200? That was a little bit less, isn't it? The
I
chronograph.
think it is 100, but
that's that can take on any rain, right? I mean,
So I could still see the time, so at least I had a little bit of a notion where I was and how fast I was going, because the computer didn't work anymore. So that was
but
fine.
when you go out cycling on your personal time, just on your, like, do you?
What
take,
I pick
which,
is the lightest. So I either wear my moon swatch on a on the blue blue
the
rubber,
integrated rubber,
because it just sits there and you don't feel it, or I wear a one of the Casiokes, the see-through Casio, which is really easy to read, and also is quite nice. But I would never wear this.
Sure,
because it's just a little bit too wobbly. It's a little bit too heavy, and also I don't think that. Hey man, in the old days, all the athletes, but it was a famous Dutch cyclist, Pontiac, exactly. Who he was, while wearing the yellow jersey, he skidded off the road into a ravine.
But his Pontiac kept ticking.
His heart stopped, but his Pontiac kept beating. Yeah, he survived.
Yeah.
I think one of his teammates later said that he rode by and he looked into the field below and he saw this little yellow dot, and he thought it was that his teammate looked like a little flower.
Oh, okay. Well,
boterbloem.
Glad that
for our Dutch viewers and listeners.
Butterflower. Glad that he survived. And glad that his watch kept on ticking.
But there's quite a few.
Risks, there are risks to wearing a watch while doing sport and exercising. I think that's perhaps what keeps people. It depends on the sport, right? Because for me, the 2 or 3 sports that I will sort of regularly do will be running, for which I will.
Do you wear a watch while running?
Usually not. If I do a longer run, because I feel that this
not even like a polar.
No, so I don't have any sort of smartwatch to keep track of the running. I usually have my smartphone on like an armband, but that's just to have podcasts that I'm listening to.
Okay.
And then what I'll
this
have,
podcast.
Always listening to this, listening to myself.
Or
nice.
Wu-Tang.
Yeah,
This is going to be very meta when I listen to this next week. No, but or Wu-Tang. No, not quite. That's not my running tune. But then typically I will, if I do wear a watch, it'll be a G-Shock. Like just a G-Shock Square or something like that. I did wear this the other day on a run, and it was also great just to, if I'm doing like a 10K where you go out a little further or a longer run, typically it's nice to keep track of time so you know when you're going to come back.
Yeah.
I feel that that's probably the case also with cycling. But obviously with running, there's not a lot of concern. Your arms are not hitting into anything.
No, that's true.
At least unless you're doing some sort of tough mudder.
For cycling, the most important thing is that you don't notice it. And I guess with running, it's the same.
With
you
running,
don't want to notice it.
And this is titanium and quartz, so it's relatively light, and on a NATO, it's comfortable. So that's quite okay. But then the other sport that I'll do is a little bit of gym training, and I hate having a watch on the wrist while I'm doing that. So I'll never wear a watch.
It's a little bit tricky with the weights. If you hit a bar or something.
Yeah, it feels like sometimes you're when your wrists are articulating while you're doing pull-ups or whatever. It's a little bit. I find it a little bit uncomfortable, and there's always a clock on the wall at the gym, so there's no point in having a watch. I also have my phone, so It doesn't make sense. Not for so much for like risk factor, but just for comfort. And then the other thing I do is scuba diving, which is technically a sport.
Yeah.
And also no need to really wear a watch, but it is nice to wear it and do a little bit of timing and you got your dive computer, but it's always cool to take a watch with you.
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that a lot of the time, so what people are concerned about is potentially either damaging their watch or having some sort of adverse effect on the watch while doing sport, right? People worry about riding a bike over cobblestones.
No, but it's more the adverse effect it has on the athlete, on me.
That's the two
thing.
sides, right?
Yeah,
so
that's the most.
It's kind of an interesting thing to watch the Olympics and see world-class athletes beating world records and attempting to win gold medals after years and years of training, and they're wearing a watch.
Yeah.
But often it's also quite interesting to see them.
They're also paid
loads of
to
necklaces
wear that watch, and
of course,
in this case with the Duplantis and also Femke Bol and
they
Lieke
are
Klaver,
handed out basically.
They wear that very very lightweight Omega with
they
that.
handed out 12 during Olympic
12
Games,
which is
there's
nice
a couple
because
more.
that watch kind of it makes sense for that, and the fact that it's being provided by a brand means that there's peace of mind. They're not worried about am I damaging this personal
they had to give
item
it back
of mine, right?
afterwards.
Yeah,
and they wear different watches.
exactly.
But
then,
that watch also makes sense. You can It's lightweight. The strap is perfectly adjustable to just sit snugly
It's a
on
little
the
Velcro or hook loop kind of thing.
Hey, but there has been some really cool watches on some really cool athletes.
In tennis as well.
Tennis
is quite big
Richard
for
Mille,
watches.
of course.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
with
think
Rafael Nadal.
but also
Rafa Nadal is the Mac Daddy of watch-wearing tennis players, right?
Yeah, but also in the past you had Agassi wearing Abel.
Did he wear that on the court?
Well, on the of course,
but
advertising.
that's
But Boris Becker wore his Abel
While playing?
while playing. Yeah,
Oh, he was too lazy to take it off.
yeah, didn't help him.
But you see more and more, and obviously this is again, it falls under that same umbrella of brand ambassadors or athletes working with brands. At least to some degree,
but with the Nadal watches, come on, they were really engineered for him. I really like the whole theme, especially when the first one, when it came out, they were gonna develop something that is ultra lightweight and shock resistant, and Rafa's gonna play with it. I thought it was brilliant, and they had the whole series, and it really was that was a cool story. It was not just here's a watch, you will pay, you wear it, and it was really a collaboration. I really liked
and technical development to make it a watch
was
suitable, because I feel that tennis
cool.
is also quite a high impact sport. I mean, typically our colleague Jorg, who is a tennis player, he was also saying, like, unless you're hitting if you wear your watch on your left wrist, unless you're hitting a double-handed backhand, chances are you're not really going to be.
No, true.
It's on the offhand, right? I mean, in Nadal it's a little different, but I think he wears it on his right wrist. I'm not sure now, but typically it's going to be on the non-impact side, which is also an interesting thing. But we do see a lot of tennis players also wearing watches that are not very much specifically designed for tennis, right?
No,
We've seen people wearing like
there was been Journe de Betune, what have you,
Tommy Paul also wearing a Debutune at the US Open. So it's interesting. But again, this is I think what's interesting for this episode is to talk about like what our audience might be doing, right? They'll be thinking, should I go to the gym with my personal watch, right? If you've spent your money, if you own the watch, if it's your watch, and you want to know whether to take the risk or not, I think the answer should always be, if you think it's risky, don't wear it.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But if it brings you some degree of enjoyment to wear that watch while you're doing what you're doing, and you don't mind taking the risk, be aware of the risk, but then just do it as well. I think that it's
because the watch can take it.
The watch can take it.
That's the. I think that's the.
I think people are a bit
bottom line
oversensitive for it often.
Yeah, but
and I get it. It's an expensive watch, of course.
Yeah, it's an expensive object. So,
but if it's a modern watch that is either new or has been freshly serviced, chances are you're not going to be able to do anything.
I'm not going to take this
bad
swimming.
to it.
I'm sorry.
You took that swimming, and there was a small issue, but I think that was probably because it hadn't been serviced for a little while.
The good thing, a watch can always be serviced. So even
that's
if
a good thing.
It breaks. Funny story is that recently at my mom's Rolex Datejust serviced, and she plays golf a few times a week, wearing the watch.
Oh.
And it wasn't properly running anymore at some point.
Okay.
And Anker,
the anchor.
Yeah, anchor. It had these. It has these
Pallet
rubies,
fork.
the pellets.
Yeah.
The little pellets.
They fell out.
No, they were they moved. So they were like
Right.
twisted or moved.
Oh, and how did that happen?
Well,
Yeah.
what she does with the watch is playing golf.
Right.
What
So I thought,
else does your mom do?
I don't know. I didn't ask, man.
Any skydiving? any high
No,
impact
I can't
sports?
imagine.
Boxing?
Can't
Boxing.
imagine.
No.
I know a guy who would take his Nautilus boxing, or was it
Oh.
a Calatrava? Can't remember.
Oh yeah, I remember. No, but it's I think it depends on the sport. And then interestingly, in Formula One, which is also a sport kind of. I mean, you're driving.
They
a
don't
car.
wear it, huh?
But but it's funny because you do get that.
Yeah.
Those gloves.
No.
with-
Wait. Felipe Massa wore a Richard Mille while driving.
Oh,
Okay.
but mostly if they finish the race, you see them that they get the watch.
Yeah.
handed
No,
over
that's
for
true.
sure.
That's true.
they
And then,
put
of
it
course,
on.
they have the clever.
Which is the procedure for ambassadorship, right? I've also I spoke with
but Felipe
a
Massa
couple
wore
of
it.
years ago with a tennis player, world number one in men's doubles, Matt Ebden, and he said that he doesn't, if he's playing a match that matters, he won't put his watch on typically, but if it's an exhibition match or after the match, then he'll put on his watch, and then that's when he'll actually
With an
wear it.
exhibitionist match, he won't wear
No, not
anything.
an exhibitionist match, an exhibition.
Oh,
match.
okay.
Very important
sorry.
difference.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
very,
And then another
That's
world
a weird tennis game, man.
Yeah. And then
Yeah.
the other world in which watches are certainly involved, or people are sponsored and will wear watches is football. Soccer to our American,
you're
I
not
can't
allowed.
watch
but they're not allowed.
No.
And you see that even things like accessories like wedding rings get taped over.
Yeah.
Winston Bogarde always had this massive chain around his neck.
Yeah.
And it was also taped, I guess.
But I think the risk there is to do with the net, right? Would you get caught in the net or something?
No,
There was
no, it's
or-
also
or so that
you're
you
gonna
don't,
hurt another player.
yeah, also that. But
they
it's,
already do that without the watch.
Yeah, they don't need it. They don't need
Yeah,
to
we'll
watch
take
the-
away your watch. We'll tape up your ring, but you get these shoes with spikes on the bottom
Yeah.
made of metal that you can run
Yeah.
at people and kick them.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's an
Sailing.
interesting
It's
thing.
also
Well,
that's also a sport.
The
where
thing
you
is-
see
for
a
sure.
lot of watches,
Peter
of
Blake.
course. Yeah,
I asked someone who's a sailor,
yeah.
and he said, "Do you really think I wear a watch? Because if
Captain Iglo.
yes, that one. I don't think it was a sailing boat.
It's not a reference that I got, but please continue.
But if a rope gets caught behind
Ooh.
a watch, he said, I don't want to lose my hand over a watch.
No, good call.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
True.
But I also remember
That's
when
why pirates always have.
they were
the
wearing a
hook.
watch. And
They
now they
have
have a
a
hook.
Now they have a hook.
Yeah.
Captain
What
Hook
happens
was
to
the
the leg?
original Rolex ambassador,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then oh my god,
Yeah,
oh,
true.
another mystery solved here at Fratello
Tick.
Talks. Captain
Fantastic.
Hook.
Fantastic. Yeah. Great.
No, with sailing, you do see people wearing watches, but often also there was at the Volvo Ocean Race. Now it's called differently, I think. Just
yeah, it's
Ocean
just the
Race. I
ocean
guess.
race. Yeah.
There was a sailor wearing like a plastic watch just to time things. But I guess the plastic watch easily get ripped off if you
Yeah,
get
true,
caught
true.
in lines or ropes.
Exactly.
But
It'll
all the
fail
regatta
before,
watches out there.
Yeah, there's a lot of regatta timers, and even specifically made for
Yeah.
events like the America's
Yeah.
Cup, the Ocean Race, that kind of thing. But yeah, whether or not they're worn, they may be worn during training or photo ops, that
Yeah.
kind of thing.
You have to say line in Dutch. Do you say line
The-
in English as well for the ropes?
I think in the world of sailing you do, because you talk about the
You can't say
yeah.
touw.
the-
You need to say
Yeah.
the line, but I don't think it's
Something
rope. Because
No, it's officially line, I
be
think.
the line. Yeah.
Before we get
Um,
any angry comments about
We
it.
also recently witnessed some horse jumping, and people wore watches.
Yeah.
The
And the horses?
jockeys, are they jockeys when they jump, or are they only jockeys when they race? I think they're jockeys when they jump as well. We'll go with jockey. But they were wearing watches.
Yeah.
I don't think that's correct.
No?
No, I think jockeys are specifically
Jockeys
for
are
racing.
only
are
for racing. What
racing.
do you call them when they're jumping horses?
Horse jumpers.
Horse jumpers. Yeah, but the horse jumpers were wearing
All sorts of watches.
Yeah. Do you pilot a horse? Do you drive a horse? You ride a horse.
You
Yeah,
ride
you're
a
right.
horse.
The horse
Ride
riders.
Cowboys.
Cowboys don't wear watches.
No.
And horses.
They can tell the time by looking at where the sun is in the
True.
sky. No mechanical risk at all whatsoever.
No.
But exactly, they were wearing watches.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
sorts.
They were,
mainly
and
Longines.
yeah, that could also be interesting. There could be some dangers to that because you see them go over the horse sometimes, and they might get caught in the reins, and
Yeah.
who knows. But I think
I saw one horse with a scar.
okay.
They-
Yeah, but that
Caused
was
by a watch?
that was a retired horse. I
Oh,
believe.
oh, yeah, true.
Probably ran into a fence post. Horses are not very intelligent animals. Great creatures, but they're not. Sorry, this comes from my aunt,
You will
who
get a
is
comment from
veterinarian
Beerdekker.
specializing in horses. So it's from a very informed source, that statement. It's not my opinion. So perfect. But any cases, any sports that you would never absolutely wear a watch while
Hockey,
doing?
field hockey. Ice
yeah.
hockey.
That's a high impact sport.
Yeah, exactly.
Polo.
Yeah, it's also I
Polo,
also
right.
would wear a watch while playing polo. Well, I'm not a
It's got to
polo
be a
player.
reverso. But
Yeah.
a mono face. You can't wear a duo face.
Make sure you have
That's the
to.
whole
That would
point.
be really stupid. Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about pelota vasca? Like Basque,
Hayalai.
Hayalai. Yes.
Highlight.
Yeah. If
The
you
problem-
take the ball to your wrist, it's over.
Yeah, it's over.
watch is
It's also
gone.
game over. Yeah. Oh.
Would GG Le Coultre
So.
exclude polo from the warranty?
They should.
Yeah. They shouldn't. No.
No,
it should
yeah.
be
absolutely
included.
not.
If you damage your reverso while playing polo, it should be covered by warranty.
Yeah, but I think
Yep.
it is. I think it's already in the price. That I think that's already in the price.
Moving
They
swiftly on.
calculated
Moving
that.
swiftly on, yeah.
Moving on.
Well, another
But I think it would be
thing,
fun
mystery
to have that
solved.
covered.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That
It should be. It should definitely be covered because that
Yes.
is what that watch is,
Perhaps they have a
is
different sense of
designed to do.
humor, I don't know.
No, but I think these days, so a word of advice to
Word
the
of-
listeners. I
Yeah.
think that if you don't want to risk it, leave your mechanical watch at home and probably wear a G-Shock. But also be aware that you're not risking too much in the sense that you might risk the odd scuff or a ding onto your watch if you're out and about. But I think that could happen, commuting to work, doing whatever. And so
Don't worry about a ding.
Don't worry
Just
about
do your thing.
Exactly.
Exactly.
That's Lex's wise words. It
Yeah,
rhymes, so
yeah,
it must
yeah,
be true. Excellent. Perfect. Okay. Well, I think that we just about covered the bases. We didn't talk about baseball, but
I think there's also sports where it's just not where you're not allowed to.
No,
I think
definitely.
baseball, maybe
Football.
as
We
well.
talked about
There's a new
American
Breitling
football.
one, huh?
Yeah, there's 32,
yeah,
32
and
new
American
Breitling
footballs, the
Yeah.
NFL. Watch.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Didn't
they're
have
not
that
going to
in the
be
bingo
worn
card.
on the field.
No, certainly not. They'll be worn.
They should be worn on the field.
Should they though?
Yeah,
I don't know.
definitely.
Do it.
Well, they're wearing helmets and pads, so it should be fine.
Should wear a little watch helmet.
A little helmet for your watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe that there's money to be made in the field of like an accessory that protects your watch while
That's
you do
a-
sports.
Swatch used to have these rubber things that you could
Yeah,
protect
exactly.
your crystal with.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. Perfect.
Anyways.
All right. Well, I think we
Anywho.
covered the field. So let's get on to our comment of the week, which comes from McLaughter, who says,
Very
commenting on
serious
our-
guy.
very serious guy. He says, you guys forgot about this year's real winner of Geneva Watch Days,
We did.
Armin Strom. And it's true that we
did
didn't
mention it.
talk. We didn't talk about Armin Strom, but
It
it
was
was
a
an
nice watch,
impressive,
definitely.
very impressive release.
The
Yeah.
39 millimeter complicated
Resonance,
resonance.
Yeah.
Beautiful watch.
Really impressive, and
Yeah,
especially
really
when
impressive.
you see where the brand started
Yeah.
with
Yeah.
the Resonance watch, which was it's this massive,
Yeah,
almost lozenge
dashboard
shaped-
clock,
dashboard.
big. Yeah,
and then
definitely.
it's incredible that they managed to really condense
Yeah.
that into a 39
Yeah.
millimeter watch. So very impressive.
Super
and,
impressive.
yeah.
So,
So shame on us for having
Yeah,
missed
yeah,
it.
it's a bit
And
silly.
thanks for reminding us. So
And also Armin Strom had very nice Armin Strom beer.
oh yeah, true. Armin Strom lager
Yeah.
was
Was
always
an
love that,
amazing
especially
appointment.
Especially on those hot days down in Geneva.
Yeah.
So that was perfect. So there we go. Now we've covered Armin Strom, and so we can call it a week. Thanks, guys, for discussing the topic, and thank you for tuning in. Make sure to do so next week for a brand new episode of Fratello Talks. See you then.